Hey, what's up? In this episode, we're gonna learn about one of the most popular after dinner drink spirits, brandy. So to simplify what brandy is, if you took a bottle of wine and distilled the alcohol out of that wine, what you would have is brandy. Because it's distilled from wine, varieties of wine brandy can be found across the winemaking world. Now, some of the most renowned regions for wine and therefore brandies are the Cognac and Armagnac regions in southwestern France. Now, the story goes that wine was distilled as a preservation method and as a way to make it easier for merchants to transport, and it also lowered the taxation of these liquids that were based on weight and volume. Now, during the early times of storage and transportation, it was also discovered that after being stored in the wooden casks, that resulting flavors of the product would drastically improve. Brandy is made from a so-called base wine, which significantly differs actually from regular just table wine. And it's made from early grapes in order to achieve a higher acid concentration and lower sugar levels. Now, brandy gets distilled from the base wine in two phases. In the first, a large part of the water and any solids are removed, obtaining a so-called low wine. Then in the second stage, low wine is distilled again into brandy. After this distillation, the unaged brandy is placed into oak barrels to mature. Usually brandies with a natural golden or brown color are aged in oak casks with a single barrel aging system. Now, some brandies, particularly those in Spain, are aged using the Solera system, where the producer changes the barrel each year during the aging process. After a period of aging, the mature brandy is mixed with distilled water to reduce alcohol concentration, and then it's bottled. This gets us to the traditional age grading system for brandies. These classifications of grading are usually found right on the label, and this is specifically where you see the VS, which means very special, or 3-star, designates a blend in which the youngest brandy used in the bottle has to be stored for at least 2 years in a cask. Next is VSOP, or very superior old pale, also called reserve or 5 stars, which designates a blend in which the youngest brandy has been stored for at least 4 years in a cask. Next is XO, or extra old, or also called Napoleon style, which designates a blend in which the youngest brandy is stored for at least 6 years. And then you have Hors-d'âge, beyond age, is a designation which is formally equal to the XO for Cognac, but for Armagnac designates brandies that are at least 10 years old. Cognac must be twice distilled in copper pot stills and aged at least 2 years in French oak barrels from Limousin or Trinquoy, the French national forest. So, as you can probably tell, I speak exactly zero French, so I apologize for those horrible pronunciations. Cognac matures in the same way as whiskeys and wine when aged in barrels, and most cognacs are actually aged considerably longer than the minimum legal requirement. Then you have Armagnac brandy. Armagnac is the oldest type of brandy distilled from France, dating back to before the 14th century. And it's very similar to Cognac in that it uses similar required grape varieties for the base wine and also comes from a named region, Armagnac, in Gascony, France. However, Armagnac differs from Cognac slightly in that it is traditionally only distilled once using column stills as opposed to pot stills. Armagnac also follows similar grading systems of the VS, VSOP, XO, and Hors-d'âge. So there you go. Now you are pretty well educated about the basics of brandy, Cognac, and Armagnac. And this is an area of great pride and history, and you could spend a lifetime learning the intricacies of this type of liquor. I'm personally not a brandy or cognac drinker, so if you're a true connoisseur and have any cool insights or additional input, then please feel free to share those. Okay, that's it for this episode. My name is Jason. I'll see you next time. Take care.